Macron, what did he say? He started this whole thing, and he said, Europeans should stop relying on social media for their news, and they must turn back to traditional public media. This was today, actually, he said this. He said people were completely wrong to use social networks for information and should instead depend on journalists and the established outlets. So he sort of got the ball rolling with this not long ago.
The
with
CIA
EU, and
embedded
really just run
journalists.
with almost everything that he said, which is crazy. All around news. Remember, we did the video on that, how they're creating now this news outlet, this special EU-funded news outlet, and putting restrictions on what they deem to be right-wing news outlets. So they are, it's a bit like how, you know how the algorithm works on YouTube and X and things like that.
Yes.
It's as if they are deliberately taking this algorithm and boosting all the stuff that say left-wing news, and they're suppressing right-wing news. Now, whether you're on the left or right, that's not the point of this video. The point is that this is undemocratic, what they are doing.
Totally
So he said
democratic.
it's destroying the foundations of democratic debate, and we need to stop all of these YouTubers and X and Instagram and TikTok and people like me basically from doing news unless it's vetted and we have the sort of
Like you, like
credentials
me,
to
like
do this news.
everybody.
He said that X is now dominated by far-right, dangerous content, and he said the platform was no longer neutral because its owner had decided to take part in the struggle in the US and take a stance. He said TikTok as well is also dangerous.
Yes,
And he said we need a strong agenda of protection and regulation to rein in the excesses of social networks. He said that we need to counter this crisis of information with a new European agenda of protection and regulation. It is in effect a plan to bring the digital
Media
sphere
dictatorship.
under the far stricter political control. So this is your context for how this has started. A couple of stats then, over 40% of people under 30 and nearly half of 18 to 30-year-olds now rely on social media for their news. He said this is unacceptable.
No, that's very acceptable.
Now, there was a couple of commentators that said, well, Macron's also talking about these fake accounts, which is understandable. And they've said, which is
that would be the excuse to block the internet.
Fake accounts and bots,
We knew that
we need
before
to
the
abolish
internet started.
anonymity completely. So there shouldn't be any anonymity online, and that everyone should have a digital ID.
Yep.
The EU is run with this and say, great idea, yes, digital ID, and without it, you're not going to be able to access a lot of platforms. So I'll tell you about the platforms in a moment. We'll talk about what Trump said as well. They said you've got to prove who you are. The architecture for full control of social networks in Europe actually already exists, and this is under the EIDAS regulation. And you'll understand in a minute what's happened as of today. These are all these different regulations have all come into one, and they've done it very sneakily as well. Now you think in France there's a digital ID, Germany has the EID, Italy has the SPID. These are all coming under one umbrella. The EU's Digital Services Act already gives regulators the power to police what they call systemic risks online.
Greece, we have the idea
We'll
anyway.
talk about that in a second. This is a term broad enough to cover disinformation, hate speech, or anything just destabilizing to democracy.
Bullshit.
Now, what I thought was
This is
absolutely
to
bizarre about
stop
this. Where
free
is
speech, as
Okay,
usually.
here it is. This is the office. So it's called the Centralised Enforcement Office. The E-Safety Commissioner is a single unelected official. Okay, keyword unelected official.
Always
with
unelected
the authority to
officials.
decide what content must be removed throughout the European Union.
Like
There's
the
almost no
Chinese
transparency,
eunuchs.
There's no court order. This one person will decide what content needs to be removed. If they deem it
one person.
unsuitable, unfit, it will be
One
removed.
person
This isn't
would
just
decide.
for the EU, by the way. This is Australia as well. This is the E-Safety Commissioner. This is for Australia as well. It's going to be the same. The UK is very slightly different, but not too far off. Now,
This is also for Australia. And now we come to the real deals that have started already. What's happening here? You see what's happening here? They have closed, at least in my neighborhood that I know, they have closed, past tense already, 3 of the Medicare facilities. There is nothing else open. I am lucky that I am with the extreme inner space, which is for drug users only. So the only ones who will stay uninfluenced from these big chains made by labor during the labor government, federal labor government, okay? The only lucky ones are us, the ex or present users of drugs. It's like, please do use drugs, you help the system. Those that they don't use drugs, they have lost their clinics, they have lost their Medicare. We are talking the center of Melbourne now, Fitzroy, Wellington, all the suburbs around Fitzroy, these are the protests that we have, but what protests, like we speak out in Kensington, protests on Fridays, Sunday, 23rd November, it happened, we were there to protest for this, no cuts to core health, cuts that they have already happened. We protest by delay. It's late. We don't protest for a law not to pass, the law has passed. And 3 community health clinics in Collingwood, Fitzroy, and Kensington are being shut due to inadequate funding. Over 12,500 people rely on these services, and they get locked out, and etc., etc., etc. Join the campaign, you understand? Well, just a small example of how the big attack, how the big attack have started on the people, not particularly the poor people, the middle class, and those who just fell from the middle class status, and they need a bit of help to go back to their status. They are getting hit the most. Those that they are already down, they are helped to remain down. Those that they are the middle class, as we used to say, the salt of the people. Once upon a time, this system used to help them. Once they fell down, they had the backup with the Centrelink and Medicare. Now, they start to dismantle this system from the foundations. Slowly, but fast enough to be seen in one generation. I don't complain for my generation, I'm old. I am paying, not money, I'm in pain for the youth.